How's it going? My name is Japandavi, and today we're going to be showcasing what I think is the strongest team in Anime Reborn. I don't think you could do much stronger than this. I could be wrong. These are just my top units that I personally have. Delta Brothers, from what I've seen compared to all the other miracles that I have and the other miracles that I have seen, Delta Brothers is the highest dealing damage unit there is. I think he even outclasses Kaido. Broly he's decent, but him and Greybeard are both AoE units, so that's where a lot of their damage is going to, is because the fact that they're AoE. But with something like Endless, they're still really strong units to have, because you get a lot of units that have a lot of health. So having all these damage dealers is really going to help. And then we have the new unit, the new secret unit here, Mercury. And Mercury is really, really going to save us, because Mercury is able to summon units that deal as much damage as his damage is. And then on top of that, we're going to be running Asta. Asta's going to be sitting up front. Asta isn't bad as a damage dealer. He's pretty good, especially if you pair him with Yami. Yami buffs him, and he can pull off the same damage as like secret units with that buff. Now, to make things even better, we're going to be using Nanami. Nanami increases damage dealt by 35%. He applies a debuff to targets, and anything that has that debuff, they are taking 35% more damage. Now, I was thinking maybe I could run another high damage dealing unit, like Kaido or Android 21 or something around those lines, or maybe even a Yami to buff the Asta. But you take 35%, you times that by 4, that's 140%. So between all these units attacking, and that's only these 4, we're not even counting Asta. Asta is just going to be our shield breaker, but he still does good damage. Like, starting off, he does 1.2k, 9k, 2.5k, 3.5k, 5.5k. Like, he's not too far behind like the Broly. So if I was able to exchange somebody, I'd probably get Broly off of here. I don't think Mihawk is worth running. That's my personal opinion. Mihawk is really good for bosses and nothing else. The rest of the time, he's pretty weak. He's a pretty weak unit. And the damage that he can do with all the buffs, the 250% increased boss damage, I don't think it equals up to how much damage that Delta Brothers is just already dealing base. I think Delta Brothers alone could just deal with that. So we're not running a Mihawk, especially with Endless. I think a big issue is the ads. Clearing the ads instead of clearing bosses. I could be wrong. If you guys think I should change my team comp and try this out again and see if the team comp does better, let me know. I have lots of yummy gems to feed units and get them up to level 50. Rerolling the traits, that's a gamble. I can't promise that I can get Miracle on whatever units you guys suggest, but we're going to go with these units. We're going to put Asta up front for breaking shields. We're going to put Nanami up front as well, so that way he can apply debuffs. Because we are doing Endless and we're trying to go as far as we can, we're going to try to maximize our range with the max range. You can see the range indicator right there. Normally you would place him up here. That way he can cover right here. But we're going to place him like over here, so that way he can apply the debuff as soon as they come out the entrance, and then all the way down to over here as well. And then same thing with Asta. Asta, we're going to play him off of being able to attack from spawn. We do want him closer to the front. The sooner we can break the shields, the better. And then we'll start placing our damage dealing units further back. Because with the damage dealing units, we don't want them to be wasting attack range on units that have shields. We want the shields to be broken, then go into our attacking units, and then be able to take all the damage from all our heavy hitters all together at once. But yeah, the only thing that I could think of that might have made things a little bit better is bringing Yuno as a slow unit. They're slowed for 15 seconds with Yuno, and that is really, really powerful. But with that being said, let's just get right into it. We're going to cut on ahead, and we're going to see just how far everything is taking us and how well we're doing at certain points and stages. I'm sure we're going to go pretty far. I don't know if we're going leaderboard far, but like I said, this is the most powerful team comp that I can think of in my inventory. So let's see how far it goes. Alrighty, it has been a full hour, but we're at wave 80, and this guy is gonna make it past. There's nothing I can do about that. That nuke hit him from cross map, but it's not even enough. It only did like 0.3 mil of his health, and he still has 1.2 million health left. Yeah, these guys are hitting for 48,000, but it's not going to be enough. It's not going to deal a million damage. I would need way too many summons to deal a million damage. So that's going to be it. Wave 80 is the cap for my team here. Looking into this team build that I got, some notes that I would have that I could suggest to change up here. Asta, I feel like Asta would be a decent change. I don't know what's going on with this Asta. This Asta's being weird. He's like nowhere where I placed him. He's been going ham all game. He's got 39 million damage because he's just up front breaking shields. But as you can see, we have Delta Brothers at 268, Graybeard at 241, Broly at 129, and Mercury at 219. So we would swap out Broly with someone else. See who else can be working for Broly. Nanami is good. Nanami's increasing damage. But like I said, Asta... Dedicating Asta as a shield breaker might not be the play. Yeah, his damage does stack up. If I had Miracle on him, he'd probably deal pretty decent damage. Definitely Broly's got to grow. Broly, for whatever reason, Broly wasn't dealing the damage that I was hoping he would deal. He's Miracle too. He's not Miracle 2, but he's Miracle 4, I believe. Miracle 4, so he's got increased range, but still he's somehow weak. Miracle 4, and yet somehow he's just not dealing that much. 129 million is pretty weak compared to the other ones who are hitting 200 million consistently. So we would probably swap out Broly, and if I had to say who I would replace Broly with, honestly, I would probably go one of two routes. We'd either go Yune for her bleed, which that can counter the regenerators, because if they're constantly taking damage like that, then they're not able to regenerate because they're losing health from all the ticks, and they can't regenerate while they're constantly losing health like that. The other option that I would have instead of Broly would probably be maybe Piccolo. Piccolo increases boss damage by 15%. With Paladin, I can place 2 of them. I think it normally has a placement limit of 3. So you could get 45% more boss damage to your main units here. So the issue with that is it is Delta Brothers is 1, Mercury is 2, Graybeard is 3. And then if we place down 3 Piccolos, that caps out at 6. So somebody's not getting a buff. So maybe if you spread them out, and that way they're not hitting each other, then you can get your 5 units maxed out like that. With Paladin, it works out fine, because I got my 3 damage dealers, Delta Brothers, Mercury, Graybeard, and then Piccolo can just buff their damage for the bosses. If not that, I don't have Hawkeye evo'd, personally. I just never really saw a point in him. His damage doesn't feel that good. He's got 453. He's got I mean, yeah, it could go up a little bit more. He's got 6 more levels to add, so maybe he might have like 600 damage. Times that by 250, though. He's got 1200, 1800. He's doing about like 2 to 3k damage, which is really weak. That's like really weak damage. Like, we'll give him the higher number. We'll say he does 3k damage with all the buffs in place against the boss, and only a boss. While meanwhile, Delta Brothers is like on placement. He's dealing basically 3k damage. So I don't think Hawkeye's is the play. The other choice I would have is Yano. Yano's slow. He does pretty good damage himself. Like he has I have SS in him in his attack, but still, as you can see, I've used him a lot, 170,000 kills. He's insane. Like, the slows last for 15 seconds. 15 seconds of them being slowed down, they can't get past, and that's more time for my damage dealers to deal damage. Meanwhile, he does decent damage himself as well. The slow is really important. I think if I had like a support unit like that, it would have been better. Asta's anti-shield, but we can get away with it because he does do decent damage. Like, he was doing fairly okay damage. He was doing like, what was it, like 6k between the 3 of them, so that's 18k. Again, that's not that high. There's definitely better things that could have been out there. Like I said, instead of Asta, maybe I could have ran like Gohan, I think if I max leveled Gohan and evoed him, he'd be able to do better. I believe he's multi-hit. The multi-hit might just be the route instead of using Asta for just strictly anti-shield. It doesn't seem like Asta's anti-shield is really that important, except for like adventure mode for stacking shields. Then it means something. But with just 3 shields, like a multi-hit could easily clear that. Like someone like Yune, you could place her on there. She can counter regenerators by using bleed damage, and the bleed's breaking shield as well. So she breaks the shields, MP5, line attack, place her in the right spot. She's mowing everyone down. She's got a great attack rate, 2.72 starting out. It gets lower when you upgrade her. She does decent damage herself. I mean, I have Heavenly on her, but if I had what's it called, Miracle on her, she'd be doing 4K. She'd be doing 4K damage on placement. That's higher than anyone else that I have. No one does 4K damage on placement. She doesn't upgrade to the best damage. That's her only issue. But like I said, we'll be using her for anti-regen, anti-shields. So if I could change out some units here, I would probably say swap Asta for Yune, and then swap Broly for maybe like Dragon Emperor. Dragon Emperor probably does pretty good, decent damage. He's also a hybrid. That's an important thing to note too. You got to make sure you guys are hybrids. Yune unfortunately would not be a hybrid, but none of the flying units have shields, and the regenerators are all ground units. So the reason why we have her counter, it's not going to be affected by the flyers, but that is a little bit lacking of damage that she could do. You could bring Yamo in place of Broly to buff the Asta. Asta does more damage, does 35% more with the darkness buff, and then with Asta's normal buff, he's doing 20% more damage on top of that just by having Yamo next to him. So that's 55% more damage he's dealing, plus 5% lower attack speed, which is not bad. That could put him up there. He could actually be dealing some pretty good damage. So if you replace Broly with Yami, that could work. That could work. He could buff Asta to make Asta deal enough damage to warrant him being there. And then Yami himself, though, I'm not sure if Yami's too powerful. I guess 706 with a B- in attack. A B- in attack. And then he's not even max level yet. He could probably do pretty good, too. Because we got some people here, like, he could probably get up to there. Maybe about 1K if he had SS stats and attack. And he was max level. He could rival up with maybe not as much damage as Asta, a little bit less. Nanami, I still think, even though Nanami's attack power is pretty low, I still think that increased 35% damage, I think that's worth it. I think that's worth keeping him on there for. The only issue is we don't have speed cart, so it takes a long time to upgrade everything. So it's a slow start, but because it's endless, it lasts forever, and it's really easy. I can't really suggest anyone else. Maybe like a water goddess and like rotate her buffs properly. That way everyone's constantly buffed in range and attack damage. That could help, but her damage herself is really weak. She's only a legendary, so I don't know if it's enough of an increase in damage to warrant that. It's kind of, you know, it's a cool game. It's a really thing I love about this game is that there's so many variations that you can do, like so many different builds you could run. Like Yami has a buff for crit rate and crit damage. I want to see somebody stack that on Oda here. Oda here can get 20% more crit rate, crit chance, and crit damage, plus Yami's 15% crit rate and crit damage. Now he's doing 35% crit rate and crit damage. That's not half, but I mean, that's still pretty high. And if he's critting that often, it could be pretty good. Max level him, evo him, get a good trade on him. He could be hitting really hard. He could be hitting the hardest out of anyone with those crits. My go-to, if you're looking for my end-all be-all suggestion, I think take off Broly and take off Asta. Roll Uni instead of Asta to break shields and to break regen, and then in replace of Broly, I would say run Yano for the slow. I think keeping them there longer to being attacked would be better than having another unit attack. It's definitely debatable, but I do think having that slow would be better. His damage isn't bad either. His damage is pretty good. It's pretty adequate. But yeah, that would be my team right there. So we would take off Broly, take off Asta, we would run Yune, and then we would run, where'd he go? Where'd he go? I just saw you. Yano. And this would be my team right here. So Yune for anti-regen, anti-shields, Yano for the slow, Delta Brothers, Mercury, and Greybeard for the damage. Greybeard for the AoE to hit everything. The AoE is actually really important. Even though his damage was lower than Mercury and Delta Brothers, he kept up with how much damage he dealt over time because he was hitting everything at once. Delta Brothers and Mercury are really good. Their damage are so high, they could just be your boss shredders. Nanami increases the damage that all of these units deal in total. And then that would be my team comp. That'd be who I'd run, who I'd suggest for your leaderboards. Make sure you remember that the leaderboards, if you are in the top 100, you get an exclusive unit. I believe if you are in the top 50, that you get a shiny variant of that. Let me double check here. Yeah, top 100 will get the new unit. It's exclusive, plus 50 trait rerolls. Top 25 are going to get the shiny version, and then 100 trait rerolls. And then if you're good enough, if you were goated enough, if you were the legend, the man, the myth, if you're in the top 10, you will get the shiny version and 250 trait rerolls. You know how many miracles you can pull with 250 trait rerolls? There's YouTubers out there who don't even have 250 trait rerolls. So make sure you guys are grinding leaderboard right now. Go out there, grind it. Leaderboards aren't too bad. Leaf Village to get on the top 100. I'm not even sure what it is. It only goes down to 50 for some reason. I don't understand why they say top 100 when you can't even see past 50, but 50th place is 130. That's not too bad. I might even be, no, I've never done Leaf Village actually. I'll say the first one I've done, but Land of the Sky is what we just currently did. 96 is 50th place. We got up to what, 70 or 80, one of those two. We might be in the top 100. I doubt it because so many people are 96. Yeah, 40th place to 50th place is 96. So I probably didn't squeeze in there the top 100, but I probably was pretty close. I think with the changes in my team comp, and maybe if I pulled Miracle on Yune and Miracle on Yano, that might work out for me. I don't think I want to go Miracle on Nanami because I want him spread out so that way he's dealing the debuffs over more range. Especially with Delta Brother, after he drops the nuke, his range is crazy. His range is insane. It's the highest range in the game. But yeah, no. Make sure you're grinding out the leaderboards right now. Make sure you're getting that exclusive unit that's coming out. Gohan's about to run away, so if you don't have Gohan, finish grinding Adventure before anything. Get Gohan while you still can. You can't pull him from capsules no more, but I do believe you can still pull him from the actual games itself. Yeah, still 1.5% chance to pull him. That's not a bad percentage chance. You could definitely pull him. It took me a long time, but you know, it shouldn't take you that long. Gohan is no longer pullable from the capsules though. So if you were trying to get him from the capsules, it's not a thing. You still can use your tickets to buy the special beam to evolve Gohan or any of the other stuff that you need. You can still pull Delta Brothers from the capsules as well. So if you don't have Delta Brothers, pull him. Delta Brothers is one of the highest dealing damage units in the game and drops a nuke that does insane damage. But yeah, my name is Japandavi, and if you guys found this helpful, if you are doing leaderboards and you have any questions, be sure to drop it in the comments. If you have build suggestions, drop it in the comments. If you have any other content creation ideas that you want me to see and test out for you, drop it in the comments. Just comment something, even emoji, I don't care, whatever it is. Let's interact and talk, you know? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you are subscribed, I love you. As always, I hope you guys have a great one. Take care of yourselves, drink water, eat some food, and have a great night. I love you.